Hi guys, and welcome back to my black screen series. This is week 7 of 52, or the end of week 7. I'm actually a day late with this, so but for people in America that won't really matter. Anyway, as per usual, I don't have an agenda or a plan of what I'm about to talk about. No idea what's about to come out of my mouth. That can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. But yeah, my week has been a little up and down. There's been a bit of rain, and it's a bit frustrating. I've been wanting to play around in the creek with the dogs and the water hole and the weir and the path. You'll see that in other videos. I'll probably have another update on that in the next day or so. Who knows, maybe today. But yeah, I'm having lonely moments. Yeah, not they're nothing dramatic, but yeah, I'm getting some lonely moments. They kind of pass pretty quick too. So yeah, I've been enduring those moments. They're not that bad. But yeah, I know I reach out to people, and it's really hard to connect with people. So yeah, I'd just love more people to be in regular contact, show an interest maybe. Anyway, yeah, there's a reason probably why I didn't record this yesterday. It's because I wasn't feeling up to it. And I decided last night, because I kept procrastinating because I knew I wasn't up to it. I just wasn't up for talking. And so I decided last night that I'd definitely, you know, in the morning when I got up, before I did too much for the day, I'd record this. Excuse me. It's now excuse me. Sorry about that. It's now after 3 in the afternoon, and this probably won't be up till about 5 in the afternoon. So yeah, probably close to 24 hours after I'd like to have had it up. But yeah, that's happened before. If you've been watching this, or following this series, it happened once before. I've pumped it out a day late. It's no biggie, I don't think. If it's a day late, it's a day late. You know, I don't need to be all regimental about this. As long as I get one out a week. As long as I get a chance to share and get things off my chest, or let you guys in on different parts of my life. Yeah, I'd love to actually know if there's people watching this. You might be here for the first time, you might not. You might have listened to a few of these. You might have listened to a few and never once commented, but you just listened to them. Yeah, I'd love to know if you've got a direction that you'd like, or an area of my life that you'd like to hear more about. my upbringing, my childhood, my teenage years, my young adult years, relationships. I'm open. I've pretty much dedicated an episode to drugs. But yeah, I'm pretty much open to any topic. Pretty much. I'll say pretty much over and over again because, yeah, I mean, there's obviously things that probably should stay private. You don't need to know every little detail about me. But yeah, I'm happy to share things. If there's something you want to know about my life, or something that you want me to go into some detail on, I'm happy to do that. There's probably certain areas of my life that people are keen on hearing about. And yeah, so please drop a comment in the comment section, and I'll try and read through that before I do the next one, and maybe that might influence the direction of the next episode. So yeah, today it's a nice day. I went to town early this morning, probably home by about 10:30 or so. Took Luke with me. I've been taking Luke with me a few times lately, and it's probably a bit undeserved. He doesn't deserve to be going to town. Not that he's a naughty boy, but Leia's missing out. Missy doesn't mind missing out. She's happy to stay at home. Although I'm sure she'd love to be social. Yeah, but with Missy, I'd have to get her in a car. Someone that was willing to take me into town all the way, park us right in town, and then bring us back again all the way. Because yeah, she's getting old, so 16 in May. So yeah, old dog, and she's although she can still get around fine, she's not the fittest anymore, and yeah, not as enthused to go any long distance and overexert herself. She's kind of taking things easy in her older years. She spends a lot of time sleeping, and that tells me that her time is getting short, which is sad. I've been thinking about it, and actually Missy's the longest relationship I've had with anyone that's remained so close for so long. So, man, woman, parent, cousin, and there's no one, no friend, no bestie, no girlfriend. There's no one in my life other than Missy, who is a dog, that I've actually been close to consistently for so long. So, although she's 16 in May, she was probably close to a year old when I got her. So, we're looking at around, getting on to 15 years, I guess. Where we've hardly spent a day apart. Like I've gone to Sydney for a weekend and stuff like that. Years ago when she was younger, I used to go visit family for Christmas, and I'd be gone like a week and a half, 2 weeks even. But yeah, nowadays I'm with her all the time. Well, when I say with her all the time, yeah, I don't leave her. I don't go anywhere overnight and not take her. As far as going places, if we go somewhere as a family, so if all the dogs are going somewhere with me, and we're off somewhere for the day, or something like that, like going to the beach, for example, she would come. But yeah, just going into town, I think she's quite happy to stay home. As much as she likes the social side of it, the getting around side of it is probably getting a bit much for her. But anyway, enough about my bestie. Yeah, although I say she's my bestie, we're not as close as you'd imagine. I mean, she's affectionate. Excuse me. Yeah, she's affectionate. She gives me cuddles, and she comes up for pats, and she knows she's my dog, and yeah, she knows that I love her. But she's not one of these in-your-face dogs that demands all of your attention. She's very much, she likes to know you're nearby, if you know what I mean. Like, she doesn't have to be on your lap, but as long as she can see you. So if you get up and start to move, she'll want to come with you. So she likes to be like that. She'll follow you around and hang with you. So at the moment, I'm laying in the van recording this, and the dogs are outside, and I can pretty much guarantee without looking that all three of them are under the van and sleeping. I'm going to double check that right now. Oh. One, two. 2 out of 3 were asleep. One was, Luke's not asleep. He was just having a stretch, but he looked like he was asleep. So maybe he heard me open the door and getting up. Anyway. So yeah, my dogs are pretty predictable, and they're pretty easy to manage. And they're great company. Like, they're the best. So yeah, without them, I would really be lost. I probably wouldn't want to live without them, if I'm being honest. I really find that without them, as a collective, not in any particular one of them, but yeah, I really feel without them that life wouldn't be as fulfilling as it is. I mean, I could lose two out of the 3 of them and still be okay. But yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I've been psyching myself up for years for Missy to go, because I haven't expected her to live this long. And yeah, she surprises me, and I mean, she's going to go sooner or later. We know that. 15 years old. She's pretty much deaf. She's got cataracts, so she's slightly vision impaired as well as being deaf. She finds her way around fine. Like, she's not always bumping into things, but she occasionally will. It's usually when she turns and goes to walk somewhere without checking properly. She doesn't see things until it's too late. And she'll bump into them, or almost bump into them. She'll pull her head back like she's actually hit it, but she hasn't actually hit it. Yeah, it's funny to watch. I mean, it's sad, but it's funny to watch how she navigates. Yeah, she's a clever girl, and she knows her way around. And yeah, so when I go to the creek with the dogs, sometimes she'll go, nah, not coming, and she'll stay up here. And yeah, and then I might be down there for an hour or 2 with the dogs, and then randomly Missy just appears. She just decides, I wonder if they're still down the creek. Like, she has to come check to see if we're still down there, or has to come check to see what's taking us so long, or you know what I mean? I don't know what it actually is. Maybe she just misses me and wants to come hang out. Maybe she's hungry. I don't know. But yeah, often if I'm gone for too long with the dogs, she'll wander down, and it's only like 100 meters. It's not that far. Anyway, yeah, I guess today's topic's dogs, right? I'm talking about my dogs. Alright, well, let's talk about my dog life. When I was young, I've always had dogs. Well, as a kid, we've always had a dog. You know, there's always been a family dog as far as I can remember. I can't really remember the younger ones. There were a couple of dogs that I can't remember at all that we had, apparently. So yeah, there's no point talking about them. I'll probably start with the first one that I can remember, and her name was Tess, and I was probably in my, I don't know, probably about 10 at a guess. So Tess was short for Contessa. She was a pedigree Samoyed. And yeah, I remember we had her for many years. I had probably my first real own dog was a dog called Kelly, and she was German Shepherd cross Labrador. Looks slightly Kelpie-ish, that short red hair, but fainter. And she was a medium-sized dog, not a large breed. So yeah, small for a shepherd and small for a Labrador. So yeah, I'm not even convinced that the person that told me that she was Shepherd Cross Labrador, I'm not even convinced that was accurate. I'm guessing that she was a bit of a mixed breed, a bit more than I thought. But yeah, she was my probably my first dog. First dog that I can remember. And I remember being in high school, starting high school, and she was the dog that I'd come home to, and she was always crazy to see me when I got home. She'd jump our fences. So my dad got a cable and stretched it across the top of the fences from next door's yard to our side, like right across our yard. And it went at the back of the house so she could reach the back door. And you know, she had protection there with a veranda. And she could reach all the way across one side so she could see up the driveway, and all the way up the other side so she could see up the side of the house at the fence. And yeah, so I remember coming home to her, being all excited and jumping up on the fence, because we lived beside a park and I'd walk through the park to get home. So my first interaction with my place was from the side and the back, if you know what I mean, not from the front like most people would. I mean, I'd come through the front door because I couldn't get into the backyard from the side of the back. I had to walk around the front. But yeah, I'd walk along our fence from the very back corner to the very front corner, all the way along our fence, and obviously the dog would follow me along and that sort of thing. Yeah, so I remember one day coming home, and she'd jumped over the fence and it must have only just happened. Maybe she heard me come in or something, or heard the bell, because you could hear the bell from my place, the school bell. It was only like a 2-minute walk from school. And in fact, I used to wait till the second bell went off for roll call before I'd even leave for school. Sometimes I'd be sitting there watching TV, cartoons in the morning, and yeah, leaving it for the death knock basically. And just as soon as the second bell rang, I knew that I had 5 minutes to get into roll call. And yeah, so basically piss bolt. Only took me 2 minutes to get to school, but yeah, run to school and I'd be there nice and quick and I wouldn't be late. And yeah, even at the end of roll call, sometimes I'd even really push things and turn up right at the end of roll call. Anyway, I remember one particular day I came home and she jumped over the fence and she was still attached to her cable. So the lead was attached to the cable and around her collar. And yeah, she was dangling there, bouncing on her toes, you know. Wasn't choking or anything, but yeah, she couldn't stand on all fours because she had to keep up on her toes because the collar didn't reach far enough down once she jumped over. Yeah, so she had a chain, and the chain had got caught between the rungs of the timber fence, so it couldn't actually slide out further. So she was sort of hanging there. Yeah, so I was seeing her and went running up to her, and she's wagging her tail, and then I lifted her up, pushed her up over the fence, and at the same time with one hand, while I'm holding her up in the air, I'm yanking the chain out of in between the bloody fence palings, so she had chain when she'd land on the right side of the fence again. Anyway, another time that had happened, and she got hit by a car or a truck, I can't remember. So yeah, I got home and our next door neighbour, there was no one home at my place, but our next door neighbour told me that it had just happened. And yeah, he'd grabbed her and brought her inside, but she was gone. He goes, you know, she went quick. It wasn't like she suffered. But yeah, felt bad then. Yeah, it was a bad setup. I've always been funny about having dogs on a chain with a fence or something that they can go over. Since then, been really paranoid about dogs choking themselves and things like that. My dogs, so Leia and Luke, are both hooked up at the moment, but it's for their own safety. So for example, they do get time off the lead. Leia and Luke are the younger two, Miss is the older one. So Leia and Luke, Luke's a year old, Leia's a year and a half, and as I said, Miss is 15 and a half. And yeah, Leia and Luke can be trusted to hang around the place, but they can't be trusted with the road. They can't be trusted with snakes. They can't be trusted with dingoes or cattle. So there's all those sorts of things. Yeah, even a cane toad would mess them up. And then there's ticks and leeches. Got 2 leeches off Luke the other day, on his feet. And yeah, it's just really random, and that was just from going down to the creek. We go down to the creek days and days and days on end, and we don't end up with leeches, and then randomly there'll be leeches. Sorry, I've got a bit of a dry throat and I kept coughing. I don't have a drink to wash it down. I could remedy that easy. Hang on. Okay, that's all fixed. So I'll explain what happened. So before I started recording this, because I was anxious, I smoked some weed, and I sometimes get a bit of a tickle on the throat from smoking, and I just have a little sip of drink and it settles it down. But I didn't have anything to wash it down with, so I just decided I'd just start recording. Hang on, now I've got a dog barking. Let's ignore that. So yeah. So I was coughing away. Didn't have a drink to wash it down with, so I just went and got one. And so I got back here, got comfortable after having a sip, settling the throat down. I thought, okay, start recording again now. Oh, before I do, might as well have another smoke, right? So yeah, I topped up. It just helps me relax, guys. Yeah, I mean, there may be some that judge for the weed use. I don't really care. I do what I do. You do you. I do me. It's all good. But anyway, so back to the dogs. So yeah, Kelly, hit by a car or a truck. I can't remember. She was gone. But we had a Samoyed, another Samoyed. Her name was called Crystal, and she actually lived a decent life too. Yeah, she was quite old. Yeah, bit of a sore point there. I was having issues, and I was actually looking after Crystal because no one in the family could. So yeah, I was already out of home. And one day my father came round with my sister, and they saw Crystal in my backyard. And she was an old dog. She struggled with arthritis just to get up. I mean, Missy's not like that. Missy struggles a tiny bit to get up, but I think with Crystal, she was a bigger dog. She was a bit overweight, and she had a big heavy coat on her too that was a bit matted. But yeah, she arrived with her coat messed up like that, and yeah, I should have probably fixed it up. Anyway, so cut a long story short, I came home and Crystal was gone, and they told me that they took her to the vet and put her down. I'm like, well, nice to let me say goodbye to the dog. I was the one looking after her. So yeah, that was something that my sister and my father did to me that I really was upset about, and they were probably upset with me with the way I was looking after Crystal. You know, like they basically acted like I was abusing her, like not giving her proper care. She was on the concrete and she was cold and she was all matted and she could hardly get up and she looked so sad. And yeah, well, no one else was looking after her. I was young, like I was in my early 20s. I was busy with girls, with all sorts of stuff, cars, work. I wasn't a dedicated dog person like that. I mean, she was a kind of a family member, but I was more of the mentality of the way a lot of people are that I see today, and I don't like it when I see people having a dog that they don't mix with, they don't spend time with. It's just like the backyard pet. I'm not a fan of the backyard pet. If you got a dog, yeah, I mean, it's a bit hard for me to expect the rest of the world to live by my standards. But yeah, I think dogs should be spoiled, and dogs should get a lot of your time. My dogs right now, right here, if they want my attention, and they do, they'll come up to the door and they'll knock on the door. Or get my attention at the door. If I don't realise that they're right at the door trying to get my attention, they'll create some sort of disturbance to get my attention, whether they bark or tap on the door for me. And I don't ignore them when they do that. I open the door. Within 30 seconds the door gets opened. It's usually a lot quicker than that. So yeah, I'm there for my dogs. I have treats for them. I give them treats daily. Sometimes spoil them with treats. They get too many treats. I sometimes spoil them with diet. I like to give them a bit of variety, not the same thing over and over again. Anyway, back to dogs of the past. Yeah, so Crystal, she was put down, and I don't know how old she was, to be honest. She had to have been at least 10, I think. And yeah, she was getting to be an old dog. Anyway, this is really affecting me emotionally, guys. I'm not going to continue talking about all the dogs of my past, because I still miss them all. Yeah, I was just thinking about Kelly, how I felt guilty. And then again with Tess, sorry, not Tess, with Crystal. Sorry, it's easy to confuse Crystal and Tess because they were both old girls and both old Samoyeds, and both very much family pets. They got spoiled. Anyway, moving along, we had Tommy and Tina. I'm still on the family pet thing, not on my own pets. I'm going to skip past my own pets until I get to Nimbin, and I'll explain what happened with that. But yeah, I just want to quickly talk about Tommy and Tina. And I do want to talk about a sad story as well. But yeah, this is a sad story as well. Tommy and Tina's story is a sad story. So we got these two little Bichon Frise, they're called. They're very small dogs with big floppy ears. Yeah, kind of poodle-ish. Beautiful dogs. And hang on, I'm confusing that. I can't remember. We did have a Bichon Frise, and I can't remember its name. And that was just like a little fluff ball dog. I think that was my mum's dog. Anyway, don't even know what happened with that dog. I don't remember it being around a long time. Not like a big part of my life. Anyway, Tommy and Tina, they were Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, not Bichon Frises. The Bichon Frise was, this sort of next level boutique kind of dog, kind of like Pomeranians, I guess. But yeah, they're gorgeous dogs. They've got beautiful fluffy silky fur on them, and very toy-like in their nature, much like a Pomeranian. But yeah, I can't remember what happened with that Bichon Frise. I can't remember its name. Obviously it wasn't around for a long time. But Tommy and Tina, they weren't around for a long time either. I think maybe a year and a half that we had them. I think we got Tommy first, and then I think Tommy was about 6 months old and we got Tina. And then I think Tina was about a year old and Tommy was about a year and a half old. And they both got pinched. Dad went to work one day, he came home, and both dogs were stolen. Yeah, so someone helped themselves to them, and we never saw them again. Very sad. And yeah, I want to just quickly tell a story about Kelly's puppies. I think it was Kelly's puppies. It might not have been Kelly, to be honest with you. I can't remember now. It might have been a dog before Kelly. But it was one of our family pets. Yeah, actually, I don't think it was Kelly. I think it was before then. Because with Kelly, I was about 12. And yeah, I think with this particular dog, I was maybe a little bit younger, maybe 11. So it could have been Kelly. Anyway, but we had some dog, and it makes sense that it's Kelly actually, because the pups weren't wanted because they were mongrel pups. Anyway, we had a litter of pups, and they were all mongrel dogs, obviously. Mixed breed, you know. Take a guess, that kind of thing. And so yeah, already Kelly was a mixed breed, and we didn't really know what she was. So yeah, to add other neighbourhood dogs to the picture. Yeah, obviously dogs got into our yard, or she got out. I can't remember what happened, but yeah, she got pregnant. I'm pretty sure it is Kelly now. I'm not wanting it to be Kelly for some reason, but anyway, it's a sad story. That's why. Anyway, I just remember all this in retrospect, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't remember this. I remember being there. I remember the moment happening in detail, but it was like even when it happened, it was like I was watching it in the third person kind of sense, like on a video, and I had no control over it. It's like I didn't really understand what was happening when it happened. Anyway, what happened was the dogs had to go, the puppies, and my dad decided that best thing was put them in a box, and yeah, middle of the night. I'm pretty sure it was winter too. It wasn't middle of the night, but it was dark, and you know, dark is any time after 5 o'clock in winter in Australia, or in Sydney where we were living at the time. So the dogs got loaded up into the puppies, not the mum. They got loaded up into a box, put into the back of the car. I think we had a station wagon, and then I don't know why we had to go and witness it all. But yeah, I remember. Pretty sure my mum was in the car as well. Yeah, it was like a whole family affair. So me, there's only my sister and myself, and my mum and dad. Dad's dead now. Mum and sister live far away, and yeah, don't really have much to do with them really. But anyway, so the dogs all got loaded up into a box, put into the back of the car, and Dad decided to dump them on some abandoned road, only not far from home. Probably only a few kilometres from home. 2 or 3. Just on a dirt road, you know, just abandoned. Just pulls up, opens the back of the car up, grabs a box, puts it on the ground, and the puppies were like, I remember me and my sister were crying, probably saying no and don't and all that, and yeah. So my dad didn't feel bad because he wasn't doing anything bad to the dogs, he was just dumping them. Yeah, I don't get that mentality, and yeah, if I could punch him in the face for it today, I would. If I could go back in time to that moment and jump from the back seat to the front seat and punch him in the face and tell him that my 50-year-old self is disgusted in my 50, I'm 56 this year, I'm 55 at the moment, but my 50-plus-year-old self is disgusted in this moment, and here's a punch from that person. So don't think it's your little 10, 12-year-old son punching you in the face. Yeah, so it was devastating, guys. It was easily one of the saddest experiences I've had in regards to unnecessary sadness. Dad could have taken him to the vet, to the pound. He could have rung up the pound and got him picked up. He could have put him in box out the front of in our front yard. We're on main road, and just put a sign: free puppies. But no, they got dumped. I got no idea what happened to them, guys. No idea. I just remember we were driving away, and me and my sister were looking over the back seat, watching this box on the side of the road get smaller and smaller. And as we're driving away, one or two of them were sticking their head up out of the box and trying to look. You know, obviously they're seeing the car drive off and leave them. That was devastating for them, like, you know, confusing. I don't know. They're just ripped from their mum, stuck in a box with a little, I don't know if it was an old towel, an old blanket or something that they had in there with them. I think they even had food and water in there with them, but it's not good enough. It really isn't. And I'm disgusted that I am my father's son for that moment. There's other moments that I'm even more disgusted about, but we can talk about them other times, I guess. My father wasn't a nice guy. I'm not going to pretend for a moment that he was. Anyway, so on to more pleasanter times with dogs, and I moved to Nimbin. When I moved to Nimbin, I heard, hang on, I just heard a noise. What's that noise? Sorry, not sure what that noise was. Anyway, I moved to Nimbin, and one of the first places I started to hang out at, there was a three-legged Pomeranian, and yeah, I fell in love with the nature and the look of them as well. They're an adorable dog, and just full of life and attitude, and just like, it's like they wanted to be fun. That was their goal, to be fun, to be funny, to be entertaining, you know, like, yeah. And my dogs can be like that. Yeah, they have their moments when they like to entertain and be silly and muck around. Anyway, so yeah, there was this Pomeranian there. And that's when I really got introduced to them. Actually, my first introduction to a Pomeranian was way back when I was about 15, 16. I was at home one day, and I think a friend of Mum's came over and with her daughter, and her daughter had just got this little Pomeranian, and it was a black Pomeranian, and this girl must have been like, 8 or 10 or something, and she's got this little Pomeranian standing on her palm. And it's so, her hand's tiny and the dog's tiny, and it's got no problem standing on her palm. And it was black, little black fluff ball, pure black. So yeah, that was my first introduction. First Pomeranian I ever paid attention to was a tiny little black thing. Didn't even look real. Looked like it was a toy. And but yeah, that was only a puppy. It was only like 8 weeks old. I'd just got it. So then my ex from Sydney, who was originally from Nimbin, she introduced me to Nimbin while we were still together. So yeah, we came up here and checked it out. I think it was around 2005. Yeah, we ended up going back to Sydney. I didn't really want to, but I only did it because of her. I went back to Sydney because of her. And then came back here. But yeah, so once I was back here, there was that dog. I was hanging around with that. And then my ex's mum had a Pomeranian, and she lives up this way. So yeah, my ex and I met up again, or didn't hook up really, but yeah, we sort of started hanging out a bit again after I'd moved to Nimbin. And we haven't shared a place for a while with her sister. But yeah, her mum had a Pomeranian, and then her sister got a Pomeranian, and then they all, we ended up with a bunch of Pomeranians. They were all into breeding and stuff. And so we had, I think it was 10 or 11 at one stage in the house. Then the girls sort of went and did their own thing and took off and left me with 3 dogs. So 7 dogs went and 3 dogs stayed. So 2 of them were Pomeranians and 1 was Bear. You might be able to see Bear in my older videos. And there may even be videos. I know I've got another channel that I don't have access to anymore that's got some videos from back then when all the dogs were together. But yeah, it's really hard to find the video. But anyway, so I moved to Nimbin, not hooked up, but moved in with my ex, and suddenly I'm in a world of Pomeranians. And yeah, so the girls took off, 7 Pomeranians went, 2 stayed with Bear as well. So the 2 that stayed were Missy and Mango, and I've still got Missy. Yeah, so, and Missy was pregnant at the time, to Mango. So Mango had got her pregnant. So yeah, not long after I'd had Missy sort of thrust upon me, or dumped on me pretty much, she had a litter, and then she had another litter and another litter. Yeah, so she pumped out a few litters, but Pomeranians only pump out small litters, like average is about 3, I think. 2, 3, 4 is a large litter, 5 is a very large litter. And they can even just have a single pup. Try again from the talking. Hang on, where's my drink? Reaching around, found it. Right, so that's Bindi barking, if anyone's wondering. Not my dog. My doggies are good dogs, they're not even barking back. Bendy shush. Alright, so that brought me to Nimbin and to hooking up with these amazing Pomeranians. I've had a few, namely Missy, Mango. Bear was a bit he was maybe kind of Pomeranian, I don't know. It might have had a bit of Pomeranian in him, we can't say for sure. But yeah, Missy, Bear, Mango, and then they'd had a few puppies, Mango and Missy. Mango passed away a few years ago, and at the time I had Missy, Bear, Mango and Chewy. Chewy was Missy and Mango's son. Missy's also got plenty of other puppies around, but yeah, ones that I'm in contact with. So two of my close friends in Nimbin have Chewy's older brothers, so they're 6 months older than Chewy. They'd be 6.5 years old now, because Chewy would be 6, I'm pretty sure. Hang on. Yeah, Chewy's birthday was last month, so he would have been 6. 6 or 7. Hang on, he's born in 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 7. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, Chewy was 5.5 when he died. Mango was almost 11, so he died earlier. And then we were left, oh, and Bear died as well. Bear died before Chewy. I had to put him to sleep basically. And then we had just Missy. And it was really sad because for the first time ever, not just for me, but for Missy, first time ever she'd been alone. She has always been around, you know, since we'd had her, a large group of Pomeranians. And even when most of the pack went, we went from 7 dogs down to, from 10 dogs, 7 of them went and we ended up with 3. She had her own pack started up, you know, so she started making her own puppies. So yeah, there was always 3 or 4 of them living together. And then so Mango died, so that left 3. And then Bear died, and that left 2. And then Chewy died, and that just left Missy. And yeah, it was really sad seeing her alone for the first time ever, kind of thing. You could really see it in her demeanour. You could see that she wasn't happy. So yeah, a friend of mine helped out. I'll name her. Her name's Krista, and she's a wonderful friend. She helped out and helped me get Leia. And yeah, Leia's such a great dog. She's a big girl, but yeah, she's got such a great personality. Very loyal, very easygoing, likes to be obedient. Never had a hassle with her chewing things really. Loves to play, loves the water. Yeah, she's just a great all-round dog. But yeah, anyway, so having Leia back, having Missy with another dog again, it took her a little bit. Like she didn't warm to Leia straight away. She was still missing Chewy, I'm sure. But Leia was just so adorable, and she was cute. You know, she was really And she was playful, and she was bouncing around in front of Missy, and Missy was growling, saying, "Get away from me, you bloody puppy. I don't know who you are. You're not my dog. Go away." And kept growling at her and stuff. And Leia just persisted being cute and being friendly and being submissive. And eventually they just start playing. And I thought, oh my God, really is they playing? It only took about a week. Probably not even, about 5 days. And Missy starts playing with her. And it was, honestly, that was a really heartwarming moment for me. For her losing all her buddies one by one, and then her son, like she lost a partner, and then Bear, and then her son, and then she was alone, and then to go from that to have this little precious puppy girl, full of life, just really swept her off her feet, like, in the love department. She just fell in love with her. You could just tell. She adopted her as a new puppy. She was licking her face and caring for her and chastising her, and it was just wonderful. Yeah, I'm getting emotional talking about that now. God, can't talk about anything to do with dogs without tearing up. Actually, even more emotional now talking about that than I was a moment ago talking about dogs that had gone. Because that's a win in my eyes. They still get along great. Now, obviously, Leia's twice the size of Missy. She's a big girl. And she doesn't play as much with Missy. But Missy's got her grandson, Luke, who's so much like Chewie, it's not funny. And I think that, because dogs' memories aren't great, so I got a feeling that Missy might have even forgotten about, I'm hoping that she's forgotten a little bit about Chewie and just let Luke be Chewie, if you know what I mean. Because Luke's Chewie's nephew is so much like Chewie. He's just a little bit bigger. But yeah, he's so much like Chewie, it's not funny. And he's really friendly, and he loves to play with her. So, just like Chewie used to always play with his mum, Luke's always playing with his grandma. And he does it daily. It's really beautiful to watch. I can't believe I've been talking nearly an hour about my dogs. Here's me at the start of this thinking that I wouldn't have anything to talk about. And here we are talking about dogs. And guys, if you like this, I don't know, some people do. If you like this sort of stuff, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And it also helps other people get out there to other people. YouTube will push it around to more people if you guys are actually liking it. And if you're commenting, and if you're subscribing, so yeah, do all that. It really makes a big difference to get this all out to more people. I don't want to necessarily have it go viral, but I like to have some more interaction. I'd like to read through comments and just go, oh wow, look at all these comments, and go through those comments and find that there's certain people that I might connect with or start to have a bit of conversations with. It'd be great, like I'd like to actually be a little bit connected to my YouTube audience, as a whole, and also on the individualistic side of things. I'd like to get to meet, maybe, or sometimes that might not be possible, but at least get to talk, on WhatsApp or on the phone or Facebook or something through Messenger. But yeah, I'd like to have a bit of proper interaction with my YouTube viewers. And now we've got Bindi barking again. Anyway, yeah, so we went from that to then getting Luke. He was the last addition. Luke's just turned 1 about a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, those two are just, they're my world, like, yeah, Missy's got that long relationship with me, but we don't do a lot. You know, like I said, she's very independent. She's not very needy. And she sleeps a lot. So yeah, I gotta make an effort to stay connected with Missy. I've got to, you know, as she's walking past me, sometimes grab her and say, "Hey, how about a cuddle? How about a pat? How about you stay here and let me pat you?" Um, Another thing is, in her older years, she's become real funny about grooming. So she's always thinking that every time I'm grabbing her, that I'm trying to groom her. You know, and I don't always have a pair of scissors or brush in my hand when I'm patting her, but I swear she acts like I do. And yeah, so obviously she never liked it, but she used to be really tolerant of it when she was young. And I think she got to about 8, maybe 9 or 10 years old, and then one day she went, "No, no more," and decided that she can have a crack at me when I brush her, or when I'm, you know, if I do anything that she doesn't want me to do. So if I've got scissors, or if I'm pulling burrs out of her, or if I'm brushing her, or trying to cut nails, anything like that, she'll have a crack at me. She likes getting dried with a towel. If we have a wash, that's fine. And she's okay with the blow dryer, but not so keen about the brush. And yeah, so a lot of her avoidance sort of thing with me is probably because of the brush. She wants to avoid the brush, so she thinks that every time I'm grabbing her, it's not for a pat, it's because I'm going to brush her. So she tries to even sometimes get away from me. But yeah, I mean, we still get our moments. I try to sort of twice a day, sort of morning and night, give her a bit of attention. And just randomly through the day, just, you know, give her a pat and give her a treat, call her, you know, get her to come to me for a pat. Just things like that. I want her to feel included. I don't want her to feel like I've got these new dogs in my life and I don't need her anymore. I mean, obviously she knows that she's not the flavour of the month at the moment because she's old and she doesn't come down to the creek with us all the time. And she knows that I go down there and have fun with the other dogs. But she doesn't seem to be jealous about it. It doesn't seem to bother her. And like I said, if she does get bored or lonely, or misses me, she'll just come down. She'll wander down there and I'll go, "Oh, Missy, hey, glad you could join us." Even though she's deaf and she can't hear me. But yeah, she's a great dog, and I will miss her when she's gone. Like I said, I've been preparing for it for a long time, but I still don't think I'm going to handle it that well. Simply for the fact that it's such a long relationship. She's got me through some tough moments. I've got her through tough moments. She's been a picture of health too, her whole life. She's hardly had a thing go wrong with her. Had several litters. Anyway. As far as secret words go, because you know I stick a secret word in often towards the end of these videos. But as far as secret words go, I think it was going to be, I was actually going to make it dogs, but I think it's going to have to be Missy. I'm not even sure if I've already had that as a secret word in the past, but it doesn't bother me at all to have Missy. And even again, because yeah, I love her heaps. She's a great dog. And yeah, it feels like I've got a child with her, you know, so to lose a kid that's like 15 years old, you'd be pretty devastated, right? But yeah, a dog at 15 years old, people are supposed to just take it and roll with that punch. You know, it's not supposed to be a big blow because dogs aren't supposed to live that long, right? So you got a good run. Lived at 15. Wow, my dog only lived to 10. You know what I mean? Like, I already felt like I've got my fair share of Missy already. And this is all bonus time, which is great. It's good to have that extra time with her. But yeah, guys, the amount of times, it's sometimes daily and sometimes more than once a day, that I'll look at her and I'll go, shit, is she dead? And sometimes I'll like grab a torch or a light and hold it up above her, wait for a fur to move. Good night, fur move, she's breathing, she's still alive. So yeah, it's I know I'm living on borrowed time, or she's on borrowed time with me. Getting bonus time, I guess. I wasn't expecting her to live this long, but yeah, obviously, just because I've got more than my fair share out of it doesn't mean that I'm going to be any less devastated. You know, it's like when someone's grandfather dies and he's like, 89 years old, people are like, oh, you can't be that upset. Surely it wasn't a shock. Like, that's not how people are, right? I'm hearing Leia snoring outside. I think it's Leia. She's the one that snores loudly. Yeah, anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your comments for the one or two of you that do comment. I appreciate your comments. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to wind it up because I'm running out of things to say. There are some people that call me in town Dave Dog. Not because I'm a dog, but because of my dogs. If you ask about the guy that goes around on push bike with the Pomeranians and and dog trailer and all this, they'll know. They'll know who I am. So yeah, I've got a bit of a rap for having Pomeranians and riding them around town on the bike, and yeah, the tourists love it. And yeah, that's another reason why I can't wait to get the Cybertruck on the road. Get it finished. I keep saying I can have it done in a few months if I had the money. So yeah, it's just a matter of finding the money, and I've got a couple of people that I'm thinking about even hitting up for a loan. But it's tough, borrowing money off someone. Not everyone's made of money or has money to splash around, and if they do, they might not necessarily want to splash it my direction. But yeah, I'm going to try and make it attractive for someone to lend me some money. Whether it just means I give them some credit, for doing so, publicity wise or whatever, advertising, all sorts of things, and yeah, paying the money back is another one. Paying money back with interest, even, that's another one. So yeah, I'm exploring all sorts of things. I'm not just out for a gift. A gift would be great if someone goes, here's a few $1,000, Dave. I'm not struggling for money, and I can see that you could do good with this. Here's a few $1,000. Finish your Cybertruck. Someone said that, I'd be eternally grateful. Especially if they said, look, I don't need it back. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna break me if you don't pay me back. Yeah, don't worry about paying me back. Just take the money and fix the Cybertruck. And yeah, that'd be a real blessing, right? I'd be really wrapped with that. But that's not the sort of thing that happens every day either. So I'm not expecting that to happen. I'd much rather borrow the money off someone and pay them back. Whether that be with interest or not, I don't want a free ride. So yeah, there are people that I think would possibly help me out, but my anxiety actually asking them is, oh, it's hell. So it's so much so that I haven't been able to do it so far. So I'll eventually one day hopefully get the courage up to ask these people if they just want to flat out lend me the money. And if they do, then I'll be all set. And yeah, I probably have about 4 or 5 that I can ask just off the top of my head. But yeah, each one of them I don't really want to. I don't know, maybe I could do it as a collective thing and have them all throw in together and pay them all back together. I don't know. It's just too much to get my head around, and that's why I haven't done it, I guess. And yeah, maybe it might just be that I just make the money slowly and see what I can do. Yeah, there is a bit of work. A friend wants to pay me for doing a bit of Facebook work for them, so I'm thinking about doing that. It's a commitment though, and it might not be much money. It might just be like 100 a week or 100 a month or something. But yeah, they want me to do like regular updates for them on a Facebook page for them, and you know, upload photos and do all that sort of thing, updates. Anyway guys, that's enough of me rambling on for one week, and thanks for listening to episode 7 of the Black Screen series. And yeah, well over an hour, which I didn't expect. Thanks for listening. If you're here right till the end and you got that secret word, I'm not going to repeat it now. It's back, way back. You got to rewind if you missed it. There's probably some people that come here just to find the secret word. They go right to the end of the video and search around for the secret word. But yeah, they got to go back a bit now because I didn't spit it right out at the end. I thought I was at the end when I spat it out, but I've done a bit more talking since, so good luck finding it. But yeah, we're pushing towards, there's an hour and 12 minutes there, so pushing towards an hour and a quarter. Anyway guys, yep, keep saying I'm going to wrap it up, and now I actually am. So thanks guys, I love you heaps. You mean the world to me guys, so please drop a line, comment, and I'll see you next week, or I'll talk to you next week. And yeah, stay tuned for creek updates in the meantime. Cheers, bye.